Hi, John Dixon here from the Centre for Public Christianity. Today we're going to be talking about Bible literacy. Do Australians know the Bible? Does it matter? Could you actually end up teaching the Bible in schools? Well, to talk with me is the other director of the Centre for Public Christianity, Greg Clark, whose PhD is actually in the Bible and literature. Hi Greg, how you doing?
John, I'm all right.
Big day today?
We've done a lot, yeah.
We have indeed. Mate, one of our goals at the Centre is to promote the public understanding of Christianity, which involves the Bible. How well do you think Australians know the Bible?
My suspicion is not very well at all. It's a bit anecdotal at the moment, and we've got to do some research to get the figures on this. But when you talk to people on the street, when you hear news stories, when you think about the popular culture, there's been a real decrease, I think, in the awareness of the Bible, in the knowledge of the kind of stories that are in the Bible, who Bible characters are, and also what a big influence the Bible's had on the shape of our culture.
I think some people watching may wonder, who cares? What's the importance of knowing this old book?
It's a very good question, yeah. There's a couple of ways you could answer it. I think it's important to start with just because it really is worth knowing where you've come from. And there's no escaping the fact that Western culture in particular, but not only Western culture, owes a great debt to the Bible. I mean, our music, our art, our literature, our architecture, even through to elements of our society itself, its legal structures and its social structures, are all owing something to this ancient book. So we've got to work out, is the ancient book still worth teaching, just like we think other parts of the ancient world are worth teaching?
If that's true, that a lot of our culture has come from the Bible, why do you think it's declined, the knowledge of the Bible?
Yeah, it's tricky. I think it's probably declined because there's a bit of fear out there of what Christians do with the Bible, let alone other groups as well. There's a sense that, we should probably push the Bible away to the margins and get on with living a kind of civilised, secular life without it. So I think there's been a bit of fear in the way programs have been constructed at schools. And there's also the sense that, well, that's just one religion's view, or maybe two religions' views. Maybe we shouldn't teach that, because what about teaching the Quran? What about teaching the other scriptures from other religions? So I think our general mood of kind of suspicion about religion has meant the Bible's slipped away. But the truth of the matter is that the Australian history, and European history in particular, really is built in many ways on the Bible. So if we're going to teach properly what's gone before us, so that we can move ahead wherever we may go, we've got to know this book.
It'd be fantastic if schools, secular schools, actually taught the Bible as a secular subject. But won't there be a huge outcry that it's some surreptitious takeover from the fundamentalists?
There might be, and it's a hard thing to imagine, isn't it, like bringing the Bible into the classroom. But in America, actually, they've started a project that does this very, very well. And America is a place where, teaching the Bible in schools is a really hot issue, hotter than it is here. I think it depends how you do it. And what we really need to do is develop a really good textbook that tells you what's in the Bible, not only the characters, the stories, the plots, the images, and how important they've been to Western culture, but puts it all together as well, from Genesis through to Revelation, so that a student can come out of school with a good grasp of the whole storyline of the Bible, and then they can do what they like with that. So I think it should be taught in the English classroom to inform you about the history of literature, probably in the history classroom at various points to show how the Bible has shaped decision making, and there's probably a few other points as well in the
art
curriculum.
classroom.
The art classroom, and how are you going to understand some of the great Australian artists, and Arthur Boyd, for example, without knowing the Bible stories behind many of his paintings? I
take great comfort from the fact that even Richard Dawkins in The God Delusion calls for the Bible to be taught as a secular subject in English.
Yes,
fascinating.
We still need it in our culture, he says. It'd be good for people to have some grasp of what's in this book.
So what's the first step?
Yeah. Well, I think the first step is to do a bit of research. We've got to get out there and find out how bad is the situation, and then we've got to work out how to do it well and appropriately in the public system. And they're the first two steps, and then I think we've got to develop a good textbook. There's a textbook in the American scene, but it's very American. We need one that works well in the Australian system, that public schools in Australia will be happy with, and that can do a great job of introducing the next generation of people to this book, which really has informed where they've come from.
We should get to it then.
Let's do it.